Hello and welcome to FleeceFolk Diary. My name is Azra and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as the Duchess of Sussex. I sat down to film something else and realized that I did not have an intro for my Tour de Fleece week 1 update. So I thought I'd film something really quick just to say hello and tell you where to find me. If you are new to the channel is quite new, but if you're new, you're most welcome here, and if you're returning, thank you so much. This is just a virtual diary for me to document all the things that I make with my hands. One of the things I'm wearing is actually made with my hands in many ways. This is my first combo spin. I've got some yarn left over from that. I'll talk about it in detail in some other video. But yeah, Tour de Fleece is off to a flying start. It surprised me in a lot of ways. My plans that I spoke about in my last video, some of it might be changing, but that's okay. That's all part of the flow. I've got spoilers next to me, but I've taken some snippets over the week of me starting new things, or I don't know, just yapping at the camera to document the whole process. So I'll let past me take over and I'll see you at the end. Film a quick snippet of what is now just day 2 of Tour de Fleece. Is it day 2, day 3? I'm not sure, but I was talking to a Canadian friend of mine that I met through Instagram. Her name is Ranza Knits. I'll pop her handle here. She also has a YouTube channel that she started semi-recently. Go give her some love and tell her I sent you. Yeah, it is day 2 because I was spinning last morning and I posted a little snippet on Instagram and she said, "It's still Friday here." And I said, "Well, the Australians are off the mark." And she said, "That's cheating." But I'm sure we'll feel the same when our North American friends get what feels like an extra day as the tour finishes. This is my natural habitat. This is my favorite spot because it is near my wheel. I am spinning on my trusty Ashford traditional. I'm sure you can tell. Could I lift her? Yeah. I'll do a proper shot as we move on. And the spinning is going swimmingly. I realized that, well, I've started with my sweater combo spin from hand-dyed braids. I thought that would make me, I don't know, just move a little bit faster because it's just sort of interesting to see how the colors blend. And I'm loving what I'm seeing so far, all the magenta goodness. I think a lot of the braids were anyway quite cohesive in color. And we can talk about how to choose braids for a combo spinning some other time. All the braids live in little nestlets that I've made. I stripped each braid down, which was quite challenging to do actually, because the braids were quite long. The majority of my braids that I've chosen for the sweater spin, I showed all of them in my last episode, but they are Marina Skewer's Tilth blend. And in the tag, she does list all the braids that are blended to create the braid, and I don't think it's set out the same way a nutritional label is, where you'd get, you know, the biggest ingredient first. But with Marina's braids, I'm spinning 2 of the same colorway from Cat and Sparrow fibers called Shakespeare in Love, and both the Cat and Sparrow fibers and most of Marina's blend, I think by feel, are Shetland. And Shetland, I don't think I've ever properly spun Shetland before. Shetland fleece, Shetland sheep are not found in Australia as far as I know. I don't think they're suited for this climate at all. But it is spinning quite beautifully, and I am spinning mostly with a short forward draw. I find doing the same thing over and over quite boring, so I do tend to mix it up a little bit. What I end up doing is I'll do a short forward draw, and if I see that there's too much twist built up in this stretch of fiber that is about to meet the orifice, I will just pull out like you would in a long draw to just spread that twist out. One thing I'm really good at doing, one thing I seem to have a talent for, is matching whatever I'm spinning to the color of my pants. So last evening I was spinning with brown pants, and this magenta and the dark muted blues are really quite similar. So I always have a blanket on hand that is, I've got one dark blanket, one light blanket, and I'll just drape that over so I can see what I'm spinning and see that what I'm drafting is even-ish. We're not aiming for perfection, ever. I am very consciously spinning thicker than normal. I have a talent for spinning quite thin. I think what comes naturally to me is a finished yarn that is not singles, but applied yarn that is sitting between this fingering to sport weight. And I think I wanted to be able to knit this up whenever I do knit up this sweater quantity quite a lot faster than it would take me to knit up a sport weight yarn. So I am aiming for something between a DK to a heavy DK worsted sort of vibe. I'm an okay spinner. I don't think I am, you know, amazing at it. I'll give you a few close-up shots of my bobbins. The bobbins are also another story. I'm an okay spinner. There'll be some thick and thin, so I think aiming for a spectrum is completely fine. I'm not being too hard on myself about what comes out. I am... How do you park your singles? I just wrap it around the maiden. I do a little kind of a slip knot, and that's good enough. Sometimes I'll do it twice and then drape my fiber over, just because I think it's aesthetically pleasing. I realized I thought I would be able to dabble with, because I had 4 projects that I had lined up and prepped intentionally. One was the sweater spin. The other were 3 different fleeces or bits of fleeces. And I do have enough bobbins for everything to go around, but I think what I might do is I'd have to pick and choose what I work sort of monogamously, especially with the combo spin. I don't want to, I'm aiming for a 3-ply yarn, but I don't want to spin up my first 3 bobbins, ply it, and then the next 3 bobbins, so bobbins 4, 5, 6, and ply 4, 5, 6 together. I think my drafting may be subject to change as I progress from the 1st to the 6th bobbin. So in the interest of sort of averaging out all the errors or tendencies, I want to ply bobbin maybe 156 together, and maybe, you know, 289. So we'll see. So far I've spun up a few. I am filling these bobbins to the actual brim and more. You'll notice it's overflown into the groove here. But look at these colors. They're just gorgeous, and I'm excited to see these plied. I'm obsessed. I basically go until you can see here the singles start touching one of these. Yes, there's a bigger gap between one of these sides. I think this is my actual marker. So that is going swimmingly. Shetland is very easy to spin. It does sort of draft itself. There are a few sort of bits of camp and bits of what might be hay. I think that's just part of their natural habitat. I do love seeing that. There is something about it. So I do pick that out as much as I can, or can be bothered to. I'll usually have I'm sitting in front of the telly, I'll have a K-drama or something going. And my Korean is not proficient enough for me to not look at the subtitles at all. I can get by sometimes. So looking up every now and then. I'll give you a look inside my bag of nestlets. I usually, when I try for a combo spin, I will split the braid lengthwise, but also split it into shorter bits along the length. But with Marina's fibers, especially, I think the colorway is called Blue Shift. Am I holding on to it? Yeah. This is part of Blue Shift. I really wanted to maintain the progression of color because it wasn't dyed in the typical repetitive 3 or 4 colors within the braid, within the length of the braid. So for almost all of Marina's braids, I only stripped it into sort of strips down the length of the fiber. So that actually has meant I have very long bits of her colorways, but the other braids that I put into the mix I have split into smaller bits because I am using 2 braids of the same colorway from Cat and Sparrow. I did try to break them up a bit differently so that they can introduce different variations when they come up in the yarn. I feel like a combo spin is a trust the process kind of thing. You really, I don't think, can predict what comes out. I've just started reading Yarnitecture by Gillian Moreno. I was too impatient to wait for them to ship me the book, so I've actually gotten the ebook, and it's really hard to read on my phone, but it's still so interesting. All the things that you think about when you look at a braid of fiber, about whether you should be combo drafting or blended drafting, I forget what that's called, or stripping it down, stripping it short, stripping it on lengthways. I feel like she covers a lot of those bases, so it's just interesting if you want to nerd out. Last time I recorded, I wasn't sure if I was going to spin as part of a group, but because I am spinning 2 braids from Cat and Sparrow as part of this spin, I've decided to join the Team Cat and Sparrow Tour de Fleece 2025. So you can use that hashtag on Instagram if you'd like to take part. I think there are gifts and giveaways, but mainly I just want to see what it would mean to spin as part of a group. Sorry, I'm just picking out more hairs. But yeah, this is where I'll be seated most of the time. I have been stretching every now and then. I actually saw that the Knitting PT, oh my gosh, had posted yesterday on day 1 of Tour de Fleece a little routine stretching for spinners, so I'll link her as well. It was really quite useful. I woke up this morning and I was already feeling everything in my back. But yeah, I will probably have to free up my plying station a bit. I might catch some footage of that to get the last of a previous combo spin off. But yeah, I'll check in with you at some point as I progress. pretty good for speed, thanks to, I think, the nature of the fiber and the way that it's been prepared. So really half the work has been done by the mill and the dyers. So yeah, looking good so far. But it's good exercise too. I have a single treadle, so I do keep alternating legs sometimes, or sometimes I put both feet on and treadle. Yeah, just trying to keep it fresh. Okay. I'll see you later, bye. I thought I'd do a little demo of how I have been freeing up my bobbins, because they do have a lot of residual fiber. I generally just spin and ply off the bobbin, and if there's any left over, I'll just spin right onto this bobbin again, usually with the same fleece. But I think with Tour de Fleece, I'm gonna start fresh. You're gonna hear a car behind me. So I will just free up all the bobbins I can. For example, these two are both Suffolk that I had pre-spun, and I reckon I'll just join them together. So what I do, welcome to a crafter's home, I save the inserts from toilet paper rolls and I cut them so that they can fit around my bobbin winder, yarn winder, and I line up this. So I've got 2 slits on either side, and those slits line up with the slit in the middle of a ball winder. Please hold. Okay, I'm back from pausing my K-drama. K-drama of choice at the moment is My Liberation Notes. It's gorgeous. I recommend it. So I have my Lazy Kate. I do love that Julian Eve calls this a very hard-working Kate, because I don't know who called it a lazy Kate. Probably a man. Anyway. I rig up my hard-working Kate. Okay, I've just gotten comfortable. So I'll drag this through. And I do believe in factory knots. I do it with my own yarn, just so I can keep it in the same bowl. So I've just popped that through its own, the slits that line up, and I've come to understand the point of a tension lazy Kate, because this does go all over the shop. I'll probably put some music over the top of this because it does sound quite chaotic. You can choose to keep the toilet paper insert in to prevent tangles when it's in the middle, but often what you can do is, especially if you're doing a 2-ply, is just pull a thread from the center of the ball from in here and pull the thread from the outside and ply that together in a 2-ply. I've seen, I forget her name, might be Mel, might not be. Her Instagram handle is Sit and Spin, or Sit and Spins. She does wonderful sort of just videos of her spinning. It's very meditative and very calming. She likes to use this method a lot, so I actually learned this from her. And then I simply, because I've marked the middle of the ball and put it through this slit, I can just slide this right off. And it's pretty handy. So I've got the ply on the outside, and I've got the middle ply. So I can choose to, whether, if I'm doing a 3-ply, for example, I could just pull something, not bad spinning. I shouldn't sound surprised, but I am. It's always nice. I might just keep this so that the energy can settle, and then pull out the middle when I need to pop more on. But I've just freed up quite a few bobbins, so let's go fill them up. 3 days. That's how long it took me before starting on the listen veil. I can't wait. Okay. Let's see. I'm actually nervous, I don't know why. So much work to get here. The comb nests are perfect, by the way, and they still smell like Power Scour. It's a pretty short leader, so I'll go to the shortest end. Ooh. I just finished up a third bobbin of Wordle Ester. Are you taking up? Yeah. Okay. Wow. So I think this will be a welcome change. Oh. This is straight butter. I mean, I don't know what to say. Wow, and it's so shiny. Oh, let's pull back the tension a little bit. My hair is getting into everything. I try to pick out these neps because whatever you leave in your singles will end up in your final yarn. Oh god, this is the dream. My wheel does need to be oiled. I bought a new oil and I am scared to use it because it is literally like motor oil. But what was there at Bunnings, some online forums recommended it, so oh my god, this is just killing me. You're joking. That's stupid. Okay, welcome to the plying station. I recently bought a Roberta, or an Urtoel Roberta spinning wheel. It is an e-spinner, and it is secondhand. It's really quite old. There's just a little drive band that connects the bobbin, and my Ashford Traditional is on Scotch tension, but this beauty is on Irish tension, and I've actually got a leftover combo spin that I've just finished plying to free up a few more of the Roberta bobbins. On here, this is quite gorgeous. I'll feature this somewhere else, but yeah, it's changed the game for me in terms of plying. It's saved me so much time, and physically it saved my right foot. I'm right foot dominant from exhaustion because my single treadle uses my right foot a lot. I did buy very recently 3D printed bobbins for this. I bought this from Dyeing For You, EWEU, from, she's based in WA, and she 3D prints bobbins for a variety of wheels. I was really pleased to find some for the Roberta because I think they are still in production, but it's just sort of rarer to find, although I have seen a few on Facebook Marketplace. Whether they're scams or not, I'm not sure. So this is going to make quite a bit of noise, so I'm not going to record the whole plying process, but it comes with a handy dandy orifice hook that lives in its own little compartment. I am going to ply my Bordelester because I'm still undecided on whether I love her or not, but let's see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Yeah, let's see how much of this bobbin because these bobbins are much bigger than my Ashford ones. Let's see how many of these can go into one of these. Please hold. The wheel does twist both ways. So there's a forward and reverse knob over there. It's a switch really that I can flick up and down, and then speed is on the dial. Okay, I've found all the ends. One of the things I love, oh, this looks quite beautiful. One of the things that I love about the Roberta, is that I spend a lot of my spinning time, a lot of my crafting time, knitting time sitting down, but for the Roberta I can be standing up and sort of move with it, so I'd be out of frame, but that's fine. And it really keeps the process pretty dynamic. I do wish all my wheels came with those easy winder things, so that I don't have to keep coming in to change the hook every time, but okay, it's gonna be pretty boring TV. I'm going to ply this and probably ply a few of the combo spin and everything else, actually, and just do a summary, I think. Okay, big reveal for week 1. So yesterday was applying frenzy. I'm super sore this morning, and I actually haven't spun that much. Well, overnight and today I've done this. I can't believe I'm saying this. I finished my sweater spin off the braids. Well, I say finished. I had it all in this laundry bag. I think I showed this. All but one. All but one nestlet. What I might do with this is, this spin actually had some, like, one leftover strand or of 2 other spins that I had done. So maybe that's something I start to do, actually. Kind of like a legacy where my projects to come will have bits of projects of the past. That could be cute. That could be cute. That's an idea. I think that I will do that. This is not going to waste. If I end up plying, so I learned that 3 of these bobbins, when I do a 3-ply off my Ashford bobbins, these are the new bobbins, I can get on my e-spinner 2 full, like, to the brim bobbins. These, I basically spun until the wheel stopped spinning, so you can see where all my hooks are placed. It is full to the brim, some of it even overflowing into these grooves here. So I know that out of this I'll get 2 skeins. I have not finished any of my skeins. All right, let me just go in a sequence. So this is my sweater spin. This is all I have left. I may not spin this unless I've finished plying and for some reason I've got some leftovers on all 3 bobbins and I can squeeze this in for a mini. But I didn't expect to finish any of my spins that I had prepped in my last video, so I am pleased. What I am more pleased about, I'll just bring my basket, are how the colors combined. I mean, it's a dream. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, I brought in more natural light to show you. Unfinished, probably a little overspun. I was really worried. I think I spoke in one of the clips about me not being, like, subconsciously not being random when I'm dipping into my laundry bag of nestlets. But so far I've got 4 of these. See, this one's looking a little redder, so maybe there is something to it, or not really. We'll see. If the color runs a little bit, I might be happy about it because that can kind of mildly over dye things. Oh, I'm really seeing a difference. Could be the lighting. I could just alternate skeins. If it looks odd in the garment, I don't mind. It is quite a thick yarn. I would say it's easily a worsted. I'm not sure how this will bloom. I have not worked properly with Shetland before, so I'm really pleased with this. I can't stop looking at it. I can't stop squeezing it. I'm excited, and I'll show you how I finish things. I had this idea where I could maybe document for the first week how I sort of start a spin, and then for the second week how I maintain the whole spinning process, and for the third week how I finish up my skeins. But I don't think that's going to happen. Other things have come in the way. Other things have come in the way. What I am most surprised about was that I was really iffy on my Border Leicester. I wasn't in love with it spinning it. I was really unsure. But I'm really glad I persevered, and I'm really glad that I applied it. It's so cute. Look. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. I'm excited to see how these come out. They weigh nothing. They're really quite light. They're not too scratchy. I think I can manage to wear a garment out of this. I'm freaked out at how even it is, because when I was spinning those singles, it was not even. So all that to say, well, I had a bit left over on my bobbins after I had plied, so I just wound them into their own bowls. So if in my next plying session, because I do have a good amount of the bag to go for the Border Leicester, I'll just do some center pull balls to supplement whatever is not available in the bobbins. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter. So yeah, for week 1, that's it. That's just, oh, that's it. That's all I've managed. Haha. That's crazy. I do think there is something wrong with me. I mean, I have had a lot of time, to be fair. I've done nothing but do this 24/7. I'm very lucky, and I knew that this kind of Tour de Fleece will not come my way in a long time, so I have taken full advantage of it. I am so pleased. I'm bummed that I won't be able to make a garment out of this as soon as I'd like to. The weather's also pretty bad in terms of drying time, but I'll show you when I process that. I showed a clip of me starting the Lucerne coated fleece spin, which was a fin crossed Romney Corriedale fleece. I had 900 grams of it that I processed. I've still got a bit to comb up from that. I've got the nestlets sitting in front of me. This spin was magical. I've only finished a bobbin and it's perfect. I can't believe the color variation. You can see that's sort of almost pure white cream, and then we go straight into just, you know, coffee ice cream out here. I've got to spin a few more of these bobbins and ply. I haven't touched Marilyn, which is my Corridel Cross, that's the chocolate. And I haven't touched Suffolk. I'm not sure if I will get to the Suffolk, but that's all right. Overall, I'm really quite pleased with week one. I'm really pleased about my first proper Tour de Fleece ever. Yeah. Let me know in the comments how your Tour de Fleece is going. It was so lovely to read through the comments from my last video. I've tried to respond to each and every one. I'm pretty sure I have. I really enjoyed learning how everybody is taking on their own Tour de Fleece journey. And that's the whole point, right? So, yeah, let me know what you're working with and how you're progressing and whether your plans are also about to change. I'll cover that in the following video. But yeah, I'm grateful to be part of a community that takes part in something like this. Like, it's just, July is just such a good month for that kind of thing. And yeah, really happy about that. Oh, tell me if you are spinning as part of a group. I think I asked that last time and I said I wasn't part of a group. I am posting in my local guild's page when every day they've got a post up and you just sort of comment what you're up to. I have decided to spin with Team Cat and Sparrow. I think I spoke about that. So if you are also spinning with Team Cat and Sparrow, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're up to and how you are going, if you're using any Cat and Sparrow fibers, or if you're using some Cat and Sparrow spindles or plying tools. I know that she's famous for her Turkish spindles. I do love them. They're 3D printed and they're really affordable and accessible. So if you haven't checked her out, you can find her here. I'll pop her details in the description bar below. I think this video is long enough, so I'm gonna spin a bit more. I'm gonna prep for week 2. I have to sort a few logistical things out. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay.